All right, here's our problem set. All right, so up here it says use the following three fractions to write two subtraction and two addition number sentences. Let me show you what these are all about. All right, so what I'm going to do is see here, zoom in on this guy. I see that we're dealing with all the same units, aren't we? Okay, so we're good. So I can add and subtract these. I just want you to notice something. Let's take a look at just the numerators. See how it's 8, 2, and 10? Those are what we call related facts. They're all part of the same fact family, right? Let me give you an example. If I say 8 plus 2, what does that equal? That equals 10, right? All right, the commutative property tells me I can do 8 plus 2, or 2 plus 8, right? That tells me it's also equal to 10. Now I can do related to addition, what is that? Subtraction, right? I can take my 10 and put it in the lead here. I can say 10 minus 2 equals 8, or 10 minus 8 equals 2. So that's what it's asking us to do here, is to use these three fractions to write two subtraction and two addition number sentences. It wants us to write the related facts. So let's do the addition sentences first, and then do the subtraction sentences, okay? So I'm going to say 8 fifths plus 2 fifths equals 10 fifths. See how that works? Then what I'm going to do is know that addition has a commutative property. I can flip-flop these. 2 fifths plus 8 fifths equals 10 fifths. Okay? Now it's subtraction. So with subtraction, I must start with the largest fraction, which is 10 fifths. 10 fifths minus one of these, we'll say 2 fifths, is equal to 8 fifths. And then we'll say 10 fifths again, the largest fraction, but this time flip-flop these. 10 fifths minus 8 fifths is equal to 2 fifths. There's a lot going on there, right? Okay. Over here, you might want to give this one a shot on your own. All right? If not, just work with me. Okay, I see 15/8 is the largest fraction. There's 15 of them, right? So let's do our additions first. So that's 7 and 8. 7/8 and 8/8. So 7/8 plus 8/8 is equal to 15/8. Or flip-flop these, commutative property, 8/8 plus 7/8 is equal to 15/8, right? And then subtraction time. So these are going to be the leads. 15/8, not plus, minus one of these two, 7/8 is equal to 8/8. Now I'm just going to flip those around. 15/8 minus 8/8 is equal to 7/8. There it is. All my related facts, okay? All right. So let's move on. Let me zoom back out here and see what I got. All right, this one here says, model each subtraction problem with a number line and solve by both counting up and subtracting. Part A has been completed for you. Okay, so this is 1 minus 3/4. So as you can see on our I can statement, it's including subtracting from one whole, all right? So we're gonna take this and say, I want you to kind of follow along what this model shows us. All right, so it's 1 minus 3/4. So what they did here, and this is what we're going to do, is notice that I can subtract as long as I have the same units. So what they did is they turned this 1 into 4/4. And why 4/4? Because 3/4 has fourths as its unit. So I should make this one 4/4, so the fourths is the same unit. If I have the same units, I can just subtract the numerators and get my answer. Just like that, okay? Then over here, they showed a number line, right? And then they showed 1 minus 3/4. All right, and then they showed, excuse me, counting up to solve, right? 3/4 back up just shows me that my answer is going to be 1/4. Okay? All right, so that would be the difference right there. 4/4 minus 3/4 is just 1/4 the difference. Okay? All right, let's try the next one. 1 minus 8/10. Okay, so let's do this first. Here, this is tenths, so I'm just going to take this and write this down. 8/10. And I got to subtract it from 1. But I need to change that into a fraction that has tenths as the denominator because I can't have the same units. So how many tenths is equal to 1? 10/10, right? Numerator and denominator need to be the same. That equals 1. So this turns out to be 2/10, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is draw a number line. Now this one's going to be tight. Let me zoom back out again here so you can actually see what I'm doing. All right, so I need to partition this line into tenths. So 10 is an even number, so that's my halfway point. So that'd be 5/10. Out here is 10/10. Down here is 0/10. Okay, now 4 cuts will give me the 5 spaces I need here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cuts gives me the spaces in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. This is really tiny, I'm sorry. That's the way it is. 4/10. Let's see if I can zoom in on that guy for you. See if you can see what's going on. Yep, still kind of hard to see. 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, and 9/10. Okay, so now we need to find out the difference between 10/10 and 8/10. So here is 8/10, and there's 10/10. That would be plus 2/10, right? See from here to here, 2/10. See how that's the same? Yep. Okay. All right, hopefully the rest of those number lines aren't so cramped and tight. All right, 1 minus 2/5. Okay. So I see the unit of fifths. So let's make that 1 with a bottom with a denominator of 5. How many fifths is equal to 1? 5. So we'll make this 5/5 minus 3/5. And that equals 2/5. Okay, now here is our number line. Okay, let's shorten that guy up a little bit. I'm going into the other space. All right, so I need to divide this into fifths. There's 0/5. And here is 5/5. All right, 4 cuts is going to give me 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So this is 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, and 4/5. Okay, so here's 3/5 right here, right? Let me get to 5/5, so I'm counting up right there. See I had 2 spaces? That's 2/5. That's my answer. Okay. All right, let's check out this one. 1 minus 5/8. Okay, so I need to make my denominator of this 1/8. So that 1 turns into 8/8 minus 5/8. Okay, and that equals 3/8. Let's check it out in the number line. 0/8, 8/8. Cut it in half, that's 4/8. Right, halfway point is 4/8. Sorry, I'm off the page. 0/8, 8/8. I cut it right in half because that's 4/8, right? Half of 8 is 4. I'm gonna cut that in half and that in half, right? There's 4 spaces. Cut each of those in half. 8 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. So here's my 5/8. Count up to 8/8. How many spaces? 1, 2, 3. Plus 3/8. That's my answer. Okay? And then here. Oh, this is 1 2/10 minus 7/10. Okay, 1 2/10 minus 7/10. Okay, I can do this. I need to turn this all the way to tenths. Okay, so this 1 right here would be 10/10 plus 2/10. So this is actually 12/10. Okay, and I'm going to subtract 7/10. Now this one's a challenging one, so I have to write a number line here. That's tenths. All right, I'm not going to be able to label this, but it starts at 0, and this goes to 2, because that fractions are greater than 1, right? So my other whole number is 1 here, okay? So I'm going to write those whole numbers up top. On the top side, 2 and 0. Okay, so now I got to cut each of these sections into tenths. Cut it in half as fifths, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 10 spaces. Cut it in half. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now you'll have to trust me that there's 10 spaces between each one. Now, I've got 12/10 here, right? So 12/10 is right here. So this would be 10/10. 12/10 would be right here. It's 2 more. 7/10 it'd be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From here to here is 5/10. See this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was a tough one. Okay. And then this one is 1 1/5 minus 3/5. Let's change this all to just fifths. Okay. So this would be 5/5 and 1/5, which is 6/5. Subtract 3/5. So again, I need to make this into this number line down here into a fraction that's greater than 1. That's 0. That's 2. That's 1. Each one of these cut into fifths. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 6/5 would be right here. So 1 is 5/5. So 6/5 is right there, right? 3/5 would be 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, and I just give a little jump. 1, 2, 3/5. Right? There it is. Okay. All right. That's a lot of work, a lot of number line work there. All right, let's check out the back. It says find the difference in 2 ways. Use number bonds to decompose the total. Part A has been completed. Okay, so find the difference in 2 ways. All right, so what they did here is break this into, that's 1 2/5 minus 4/5. So they broke this down into 5/5 and 2/5, right? That equals, added to them together, and you get that 7/5. So essentially, this here is equal to 7/5. Okay? And then what they did was then subtract this 4/5 right here to end up with 3/5. Okay? All right. On this one, what they did was take the 5/5, this one, right? And then they subtracted this one to get 1/5, right? And then they added back in this guy to get 3/5, okay? All right, this is what we're going to do, okay? This is getting way too over our heads, way too quick. Let's just solve the problem. Can we do that? Let's just solve the problems. Okay, let's do that. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna zoom in here on B, and I see 1 3/6 minus 4/6, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is change this mixed number back to a fraction greater than 1, where our numerator is going to be higher than our denominator, okay? So I know that 1 is equal to 6/6. Do you agree? I do, right? And that 3/6 is just 3/6, okay? So if I combine those, put them together, I'm going to end up with 9/6, right? So this number is equal to 9/6. That's a fraction greater than 1. And now I can subtract 4/6. And that's going to be 5/6. Does that make sense to you? I hope so. All right, and that's how we're going to solve the next 3, just like that. Let's take a look at this one. 1 6/8. All right. So, I'm going to change this back. Okay? So, 1 is 8/8. Right? We want to keep the same unit. And 6/8. So, we're going to add those together to get 14/8. Right? Now we can subtract 7/8. So I got 14/8 minus 7/8. It's equal to 7/8. Okay? All right, let's check out this one. 1 1/10. So this here is 10/10. And this here is 1/10. I combine those to get 11/10. Now I can subtract 7/10 to get 4/10. And then finally, this last one. 1 3/12. Let's change this guy into 12/12, right? And 3/12. If I combine those, I end up with 15/12. Now I can subtract 6/12. 15 minus 6 is 9/12. Okay. All right, that's it. That's our stuff. All right, kids, great job today. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about adding and subtracting fractions. All right, we're going to keep rolling with this as the week passes. And all you're going to do is stay positive, keep your mind open, and listen very carefully. All right, kids, we'll see you tomorrow.